There was a time in the 1980s that every second movie that was a romantic farce or a comedy farce would star this actor. Now, Dudley Moore, for a lot of people, is probably one of the forgotten comedy superstars of the decade. And one movie he did, which the plot is so over the top, it works in a different way than a lot of people expected. Now, this romantic comedy, directed by Blake Edwards, is more well known for the wrestling cameos within the movie, because since the movie came out, within a couple of years, Andre the Giant became a superstar of film because of The Princess Bride, and eventually died later on of gigantism. So today we're going to be talking about the Golden Globe winning movie, Micki Maude. Now, this came out in 1984, and like I said, directed by the great Blake Edwards. It co-stars Tony Award-winning actress and dancer Ann Reineken, Bob Fosse's former paramour as Micki, and Amy Irving, Steven Spielberg's longtime paramour in real life, as Maude. With the exception of appearances as herself in the documentary Mad Hawk Ballroom in 2005, this was Reineken's last acting role in the film. Now, this movie's been remade internationally, and in India especially, and internationally, its plot again is very well known. Now, in the movie, Moore plays Rob Salinger, who's an overworked television reporter. He is happily married to Micki, played by Reineken, a lawyer who is a candidate to become a judge. Rob wants a child badly, but Micki is reluctant due to a previous miscarriage and wanting to focus on her career. On an assignment, Rob interviews a young cellist, played by Amy Irving. Now, Maude Gilroy, he becomes smitten with her and begins a relationship with her. When she becomes pregnant, the two decide to get married, with Maude and her father, played by pro wrestler Hardboiled Haggerty as Barkus Gilroy, planning the wedding. Now, Rob prepares to confess to Micki and get a divorce, but before he can reveal his affair with Maude, Micki stuns him by announcing that she too was pregnant. She confesses that she initially planned on having an abortion, as pregnancy would interfere with her career and not tell him, but she realized how much she wants to have a family with him. However, she cannot exert or stress herself too much, as it would endanger her and the baby. Rob, because of this, eventually becomes a bigamist. With his television boss and best friend, Leo, played by the great Richard Mulligan, covering for him, he sees one wife during the daytime and the other at night, using work as an excuse. He gets away with it until the fates collide. Micki and Maude eventually go into labor at the same time, in the same hospital on the same floor. Now, the two women end up becoming friends, but realizing that Rob has been dishonest with them, they ban Rob from their lives and the lives of their children. Rob follows them around, spying on both families from a distance. Eventually, Rob reconciles with both Micki and Maude, though it is not clear if the two women are aware he has reconciled with the other. The film ends with the women pursuing their careers, Micki as a judge presiding in a courtroom, with Maude playing cello in a symphony orchestra. The film closes with a shot of Rob in a park years later, with two babies and the 600 children he has had over the years with Micki and Maude. So again, a stretch of the imagination, and that's Hollywood. Now again, other key roles, the great George Gaines plays Dr. Gostewski, with Wally Shawn as Dr. Feibel, and again, John Plachette as Hap Ludlow, Hardboiled Haggerty as the father of the other wife, as we say. Now, the script itself was written by playwright Jonathan Reynolds. I initially thought that the guy would be perceived as terrible as Reynolds. The biggest trick was to make him not be a swine. If you had Errol Flynn or Warren Beatty in that role, you would have been in big trouble. So Reynolds stressed the man's devotion to children, and to make it clear he was very much in love with both wives. Now, Dudley Moore at the time, again, was never seen as a cad or a negative actor or presence, and the only reason it works because Dudley Moore is, in the movie, what he's in his real life, a very, very proper British, honest person. Now, Blake Edwards was not originally available to direct. When Edwards left City Heat, he moved on to Micki and Maude. I feel I do my best work with him, said Moore. He lets me go. He doesn't force me to feel that I'm not doing the right thing. Now, the original version was set in New York, and Reynolds says it was sort of a slam-bang farce with a very zippy pace. The director said Reynolds made it much sweeter, slowed the pace, and introduced the idea of one wife having a wrestler father. Now, Hardboiled Haggerty again was subsequently cast as the father-in-law. Now, along with Haggerty, the film features numerous cameos from pro wrestlers, including Gene LaBelle, the great Chief Jay Strongbow, Big John Studd, and of course Andre. Although the main cast also includes Wally Shawn, it would be not until The Princess Bride, in which he and Andre would work together on screen. Now, Irving later stated, the role was difficult for me. It's not my forte to do comedy. You feel so exposed when you first try to do it, afraid that you'll appear ridiculous. And again, Dudley Moore brings the comedy in this, while Reineken and Irving, again, it's just, they play themselves, really. Now, filming of the movie began in April of '84. A month of shooting was left to do when Edwards fell ill with mono. Lou Antonio, who had transferred from acting in directing, was brought in to complete the film and was credited as an executive producer. Nonetheless, the film came $1.6 million under budget, and the budget itself was quite high, $15.1 million. Now, this was worked out as a Christmas movie. It was released on December 21st, '84. It could have been better as a TV movie week, but you can imagine this movie ran almost 2 hours. So it takes a lot sometimes to make a plot last 2 hours, but it tends to work here. Now, to some, the film was a box office disappointment, but to many, it made the $10 million it made over budget was kind of a surprise because, again, you were not going to get many repeat viewers with this movie. Word of mouth was not good. It grossed $26.2 million against a budget of $15. Now, the critical reception was mixed to positive, and it currently holds a 70% rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 10 reviews. Like I mentioned, award nominations. Moore won the Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture Comedy Musical. The film was also Golden Globe nominated for Best Motion Picture Comedy Musical. Now, it's been released twice on VHS in '85 and '89, and re-released in '93 on Columbia TriStar. The DVD was only released on November 3rd, 2003 by Columbia TriStar Entertainment. Now, what I really enjoyed about Micki Maude, and it's a movie you can put on, and it harkens back to the 1980s, the mid-80s, where basically you didn't really take yourself way too serious. You knew the Dudley Moore movie, you knew what you were going to get. Because Dudley Moore, I mean, even when he appeared in cameos in other movies, it was, like I said, he just brought so much sincerity to the roles. Eh? Now, Dudley Moore recommended Amy Irving for the part of Maude in Gunner. Now, according to Barbara Paskin's biography, Dudley Moore, the Melancholy Clown, Moore was a staunch admirer of the beautiful actress with a Renaissance face. And again, and had she not been married at the time to Steven Spielberg, he would have pursued her into a romance. Now, this is the first film for around a decade where director Blake Edwards was not credited as a writer. Now, Edwards once said of this movie, the film was funny, but I think Middle America resented the fact that this guy was a bigamist. I still thought it was a charming movie, and I bet anything that would have done very well. Now, Amy Irving's real-life mother and stepfather play her parents. Was the second, 3 consecutive pictures that director Blake Edwards made at Columbia Pictures. The first was A Man Who Loved Women, 1983, and the third was A Fine Mess, came out in '86. Now, this was Dudley's second movie with Blake Edwards. Of course, the first one was Tend with Bo Derek. Now, big year for Dudley in '84. He also did Best Defense with Eddie Murphy, and also in Faithfully Yours. Now, Jonathan Reynolds, this was his first screenplay, so a good first effort. Now, this was actually one of the first role that Reineken didn't play what she was known as a dancer. This was the first time she portrayed a non-dancing character. Now, the Christmas of '84 was very tight for a lot of viewers, as we say. But what's kind of weird about this, the poster art is quite weird. It doesn't say Micki and Maude. It says Micki plus Maude, which is kind of the different spin they were going to do it. But the age difference wasn't really talked about, because Dudley, I think he was 10 to 15 years older than his two co-stars in the movie. So I could, in 2021, I would like to see a remake of this with a little bit more of a farce, but based on the fact it's still in the 1980s. I don't think in 2021 this really could work. Now, if you go on the IMDb site, for some reason, it's been told here that when CBS aired the movie, it cut out 22 minutes from the film. So again, it was running 2 hours at the theaters, but really it should have been a 90-minute movie. A better editor would have given it a little bit more resonance. So again, Micki Maude, 2.5 stars out of 5. You can see it at Hollywood Suite in Canada on a regular basis. But again, just an afternoon movie. Older couples could go and see it. But back then, Dudley Moore, again, one of the most popular actors of the 1980s, and I really miss him. Since he's passing, I think entertainment has not been the same. But that's just my personal opinion. We all liked a little bit of Dudley in the 1980s. Have a good evening. Bye.